So as a coach, there's quite a few terms within the industry that I absolutely fucking despise. One of them is toning up, because at the end of the day, toning up literally just means to build muscle. It's simply marketed at different demographics. And the reason why I hate it is because people think that they can tone up without building muscle or vice versa, which is something that you just cannot do. But there's one term which I hate even more, and that is junk, or even more specifically, junk food. The reason why I hate the term junk food is because ultimately there is no such thing as junk food. The word junk suggests that the food in question actually has no value, because that's what junk is. It's just something which has no value to you and you just chuck it out. But the thing is, every single food has some kind of value, whether that's a metabolic value, a nutritional value, or an emotional value. And each food is probably going to be more valuable for a certain outcome than it is for others. For example, if you wanted to get nutrients into your system, if you wanted to eat a food which was quite filling and relatively healthy in regards to the amount of minerals and vitamins that it's got in it, you'd probably opt for some fruit or some vegetables. Therefore, it's valuable for its nutrient content. If you wanted to eat a food which was relatively filling, high in protein, and also has a high thermic effect, then you'd probably go for something such as a chicken breast or some beans. If you wanted to eat a food which tastes nice, which has quite a lot of energy in it, and which also helps you with whatever emotional situation that you're going through, you'd probably have a chocolate bar. When was the last time that you were upset or you had a stressful day and you relaxed with a iceberg lettuce? Now sure, eating the chocolate bar probably isn't as valuable towards your calorie intake as, let's say, the fruit and vegetables, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not as valuable. Also keep in mind that, let's say, somebody wants to actually gain weight or gain mass or gain muscle, and they're quite full up from the amount of food that they've been eating over the course of the day. But despite the fact that they're full up, they're still about 200 to 300 calories short of their ideal target. Now you wouldn't ask this person to have another meal because they're full up, they're, satisfied. If they try to eat anything else, they'd just be force feeding themselves. So we'd ideally need a food item which is high in calories in order to get that calorie intake up, but also a food item which isn't necessarily satiating or filling, so that person could actually eat that food without feeling sick. Imagine if we had a food that wasn't that filling but high in calories, so they could actually get that calorie intake in. Oh wait, yeah, we do, chocolate. Therefore, if that person actually eats the chocolate, they'd manage to hit their calorie intake, and they wouldn't be force feeding themselves getting overly full. Therefore, it's valuable to that person. And if you even want to bring chocolate into the situation when it comes to fat loss, I can actually argue the case that chocolate might actually be quite beneficial for fat loss as well. Let's say you've got Sally from Derby. She's tried to lose weight, she's tried to adopt a diet, and this has actually caused her to naturally restrict any food which doesn't contribute towards that fat loss. She's just relying on fruit, vegetables, chicken, rice and broccoli every single day of her life. Now, because she's getting bored of her diet, she's getting sick of not eating the foods which she wants to eat, and ultimately it's turning her into a little bit of a miserable, hungry mess. She's not going to be able to stick with that diet for too long. Let's say about 2 or 3 weeks, she'll probably fall off track. And this has actually happened with quite a lot of my clients as well. I've had clients whereby they've tried to adopt a diet in the past which causes them to restrict all of their favourite foods, and then eventually, on the off chance that they actually get their hands on a food that they've been restricting, they kind of lose control and overconsume it. Now what we've done is we literally asked them to put 200 to 300 calories aside at the start of the day, specifically to eat a chocolate bar or a bowl of ice cream or a cake or whatever it is that they fancy at the end of the day. Now the funny thing that happens is, because they still kept within their calorie intake, they've lost fat. Because they've allowed themselves to eat the food that they usually restrict, their relationship with food has actually improved as a result. And because they've implemented these foods within their diet, therefore not making it a misery-inducing mess, and because they're still eating their favourite foods, they manage to stick with their diet for longer, ultimately resulting in their results. Therefore, if this chocolate is the one thing that's helping somebody stick with their diet, then I'd argue the case that chocolate's actually quite supportive of fat loss in that case. So as you can see, just because a food isn't stigmatized as being overly supportive for one certain outcome doesn't mean that it's junk, because it will still have value in one case or another. And in actual fact, if you actually label something as junk, if you label food as bad or good or naughty or nice or junk or useful, then you're doing something known as dichotomous labeling. And studies have suggested that if you dichotomously label foods, then you may struggle to maintain a healthy weight in the long term. So it's probably in your best interest to stop labeling foods as junk, mainly down to the fact that there's no such thing, but secondarily because dichotomous labeling is quite a shit thing to do, especially for your overall long-term progress. Enjoy your food and understand there's no such thing as junk. Food has value in more cases than simply just being low in calories and high in nutrients. Your relationship with food will improve as a result as soon as you start to understand that. Trust me. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like. If you've got any questions for me, make sure that you comment below because I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. And if you want to catch any more free fitness or fat loss based content without any bullshit, as always, make sure you're over following my Instagram at k.p_health or subscribe to this channel. Peace.